Hello YouTubers, another update. So yeah, I'm getting like deep and dirty into this thing. I was able to remove the front clip. I think I showed you on the previous video, the headlights. Took them off just to be able to clean in there and then be able to get into this space right here behind the front fender. All that's gonna get splashed with salt away. It's been a real struggle. Some of these bolts are pretty rusty. I was able to remove the radiator. So there's a trick to this radiator. You have to take off the fan, which goes right there. And then
Where are you going? Get over here.
at the same time, you take off the shroud. And they almost come out together. They come out to the left over here. You have to kind of wrestle it, tilt it, work both pieces out at the same time. That way you don't have to remove this air conditioner hose right here. You don't want to mess with this one. You know, don't disconnect it. It can stay there. This is a wiring harness. All this stays there. It's just kind of floating. It goes to the battery. But you can maneuver the radiator and the fan through this back section here. And you have to kind of tilt it sideways and wrestle it, and then I think the fan comes out first. And don't break any of the blades. Be real careful with it. Once you get the fan out, then the shroud comes out. Once you have the shroud out, then you got to remove all the bolts holding the radiator. There's a reservoir bottle. This little bottle right here, that little white bottle. You got to remove that. Took out all the air cleaner tubes, all this plastic stuff needs to come out. You'll get a good thorough cleaning. There's the headlights. There's the shroud. And then there's the fan with the clutch. The clutch seems to be good. You know, all this needs to be cleaned out, pressure washed, nice. And then there's the top cover. It's nice and clean. It's not cracked or broken. It's full of salt, but all this stuff needs to get washed really clean. So I'm making progress, folks. I'll keep you tuned in. Some of these hoses are compromised. I think I'd rather just replace them with knee hoses. All the rubber hoses. The clamps are also compromised. But anyway, so once I'm in there, I'm getting to that point where the serpentine belt needs to come out, and then behind these covers right here, the valve or the whatever these pulleys are right here, there's some pulleys here that control the valve system on both sides. The cam, it's got twin cam. So you got to undo all these covers, and then behind those covers is a timing belt. So yeah, the timing belt kind of swoops around, does its thing behind all this stuff, keeps everything in tune. It's really important that you have a good timing belt. There's a process, it's pretty lengthy. There's some videos already out there that'll show you step by step how to do the belt. The timing is critical. It has to be, there's some alignment marks that have to be aligned just exactly where they need to be when you put the new belt on. That way everything's still timed accordingly. And that's it. You put the new belt, and then you put all these covers back on. And while I'm there, I'm going to check the water pump. It doesn't seem to be leaking anything. There's no crust, no buildup, nothing, no leaks. So all this will probably just get a really good cleaning, pressure washed, once I wheel the truck out to the driveway. And then the thermostat, I'm going to replace that right here. This is really easy to get to. If you're going to do the hoses, radiator, and all that, you might as well do the thermostat. So yeah, it's coming along. All those hoses will get replaced with new clamps, new coolant, new belt. Hopefully I don't have to change out the water pump, but we'll see. I think it might still be good. And then everything else gets pressure washed. And I've been soaking it with PB blaster. That blaster stuff right there, that stuff is like miracle. And I recommend that whenever you're taking out any kind of bolt, screw, nut, whatever it may be, you soak it really good with that stuff. Like this bolt right here, where where the radiator mounted, these two bolts, there's one on each side. They go here, and then on the other side, and it holds that's where the radiator sits. Those bolts were like really rusty. Excuse me. All right, sorry about that. My wife turned on the vacuum over there. But anyways, so those bolts were really rusty on both sides. I mean, along with everything else that has rust on it. But I recommend, so that you don't break some of these bolts or nuts or strip them or anything. It's really recommended that you soak them with some kind of rust loosener, preventer. That PB Blaster works real good. There's other brands that are just as good. The Progressive, W40, if you don't have anything else, will work. But so what you do is after you soak it, you let it sit for a while. Then, like say I was going to take this one off, you put the socket, and with an extension, and then maybe tap it with a hammer, just so that while it's soaked, you wet it with that rust spray, and then when you tap it, the vibration does something in there where it makes it penetrate further when you vibrate it, and I've been hitting it with a little scaler tool. I just kind of put it up against the nut and give it enough vibration to where it like works its way in and penetrates, and then I let it sit for another little while. And if you can do the back side, I recommend it. If there's a back way to these nuts and bolts or whatever, spray the back. So when it comes time to remove it, after you waited a couple hours or however long, I recommend that you just barely try to break it loose in the left direction. Of course, lefty loosey, right? But then instead of trying to go more, once you break it loose, you need to put it the other direction and go righty tighty and break it that way a little bit, and then left, and then right, and then left, and then right. And as you go, the further you go, each time it just starts getting like looser and looser and looser. And then you can spray it some more, let it sit, whatever, and then to the point where eventually the nut just is so lubricated and saturated, the rust is broken, you've already broken loose, it'll just spin out like zzz, like nice. But the whole trick to it is loosening it first in both directions until it gets in there, and then once you see that it's free, then you can try to go more. And then sometimes you go a few more turns and then go the other way, and then a few more turns and then the other way, until you can you can go the whole way. And that way you don't break the bolt. Because if you just go left, you just try to go left, like take it off, just go left in one direction, you're gonna snap it off. So you have to kind of work it back and forth until it comes out. If that makes sense. Okay, just highly recommend it, and that applies to any bolt that you ever gonna deal with, that you're trying to remove, whatever. You work it, and if you have a tool that'll vibrate it, it'll be even better. I've been using this ratchet. This is also an air ratchet, pretty badass. So this one, it tries to remove it, and then you can torque it by hand, and then go the other way, change it here, tighten it, and then loosen it. And with the vibration and just the rotation, all these nuts and bolts come out fairly easily. So just highly recommend it. What else? I think that's pretty much it. When it comes to the headlights, these things are like $400, $450 for each OEM Toyota, and then there's some aftermarkets for like $250 for the pair. I'm gonna try to clean these, see with that lens restore thing. I've done it before on other cars, and it comes out really nice, like brand new. It's better to do them off the vehicle, you know, like on a bench or something, instead of trying to do it here, and then you got to worry about the paint and all this stuff. So it's better to do it over here, polish them, put a buffer to them or whatever, and they come out like brand new. And unless they're cracked, I need to inspect them and make sure they're not cracked or anything. But if they're cracked, then you got to replace them. But I think these are going to turn out just fine. That way I don't spend $450 each. That's like $900 for the pair. Toyota OEM. And I don't want to go that route. So if I do replace them, it'll probably be aftermarket, made in China, made in Japan or whatever. And they'll be brand new, but they won't be OEM. So anyways, I'll let you guys go. Have fun. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. And man, what a winter project. But it's cool. I like it. I love doing this kind of stuff. And it keeps me out of the bars. So, there's that. All right, folks. Talk to you later. Bye.